NEC Indoor Arena for the pairs short program, and an early draw for one of the favorites. Last year's bronze medalists, Marina, Silva, Andrei, Bushkov of Russia. And they were the favorites going into the Europeans. They'd won 3 internationals, but had a problem in the short program, finished 4th. A little extra drama here, though. Andrei left the practice warm-up time with about 1 minute to go, and it looks like he's feeling a little under the weather.
He definitely looks like he's lagging behind. She's been going a mile a minute on the warm-up, and he got off early, and we were sort of watching what was going on, and he looks a little sick. He looks kind of white as a ghost. So we'll see what happens. At the Europeans, he missed the side-by-side double axel, and she seemed to really give him a hard time about it, so I'm sure he's a little concerned about landing that double axel. We're opening with the double twist. Good height.
Nice catch. That's one of the things that judges will be looking for, to make sure that that element is caught at the waist and then set the woman down.
Now watch, they go into these double axes holding hands. No problem. Overhead one-hand lift, one of the lifts that we'll see tonight that didn't have quite the difficulty.
Oh, difficult change there on those side-by-side sit spins.
Forward inside death spiral. In this program, the pair combination spin. Barbie commented earlier on the ease of difficulty in the lift, but they try to put a little bit more technical difficulty into the program in the side-by-side spin. Clean set of side-by-side double axles. They've got to be pleased with this performance.
The 93 European champions, bronze medalists last year, Marina Silva and Andrei Bushkov of Russia, will have their marks after this.
Marks for Marina, Silva, Andrei, Bushkov, 4 required elements.
We're back, and the marks just about to be posted for Silva Bushkov. He gave a little victory salute as he came off the ice, as if I'm glad that was over, but these marks will make them feel pretty good. 5.2 is the low mark, up to 5.6 from the Russian judge.
He looks like he's happy. He survived. Sure.
5.4.
And now the presentation marks may also range from 5.2 from the USA to 5.6 very early in the competition. But Silva Bushkov did not make a major mistake, and they should be major players in the long program.
Before we go back to the ice, here's a look at the 8 required elements which must be executed in the pairs short program. The most important is perhaps the side-by-side jump, as this is the first year in which the pairs are allowed to attempt a side-by-side triple jump. And in the course of tonight, I believe it's going to be the element which makes or breaks the event for the competitors here.
Representing Russia,
Well, here are the defending world champions, Evgenia Shishkova, Vadim Naumov, just bronze medalists in Dortmund. They've just overcome some illness, did not compete at the national championships, and didn't look confident there, but they appear to be back in form coming into this competition.
Well, they came into Europeans and they just did not look like world champions. They just didn't have the confidence. But as you said, Chris, that's changed a little here. They've had a few weeks to get it together, and hopefully they'll put it down on the ice here tonight. But this program will come down to this jump right here. And they land them side-by-side triple toe loops.
Bit of a unison problem there on the side-by-side spin. That shows great skill to get a spin that is off and to get it back rotating again in unison with the sign of a pair skater who has mastered the skill of side-by-side spinning.
Here's their double twist. Sets her down like a China doll.
World champion Bushkov of Russia.
Barb, you were commenting about the lack of emotion and speed. Here we see the opening element, side-by-side triple toes. I'd like to watch her carefully to see if she doubled. No, it is a clean landing. I thought perhaps she put her toe down, but executed cleanly. Their overhead lift, up into a reverse hip axel. Difficult transition to get her into that position on the way up. One arm, great extension, and watch her free leg on the landing. Doesn't drop, she gets it, keeps it right up there.
All three Russian pairs are from the Yubileny Sports Club in St. Petersburg, which was forced to close earlier this year, so they have been training in Moscow. We'll have more on the problems that Russian skating has faced in the wake of the collapse of the Soviet Union tomorrow night.
And all three Russian pairs, as you said, Chris, they train together, so it must be a very competitive atmosphere in that rink, you would think.
Well, they have certainly set a very high standard now for the rest of this competition as they're skating fourth out of 21 teams. And they've skated clean with side-by-side triple jumps.
With coach Ludmila Belikova, they assessed the marks that range from 5.5 through 5.7. Those appear to be just a touch higher than teammates Silva Bushkov.
Marks for presentation.
And the presentation marks go up, and first place ordinals from all 9 judges ahead of their Russian teammates for Bushkov. And with more on the pair short program, let's assess that with Jenny Mino and Todd Sand. In 1950, the last time the World Championships were held in England, John Nix competed, and he is now coaching this team. Definite gold medal possibilities for the United States champions.
We've seen a tremendous improvement in this team this past year.
John Nix is a master at assessing a competition and determining what his skaters need to be competitive. And I guess he felt after watching the other team skate that a side-by-side double axel would keep them in good stead here.
And also much less of a risk for them. A little off there. Here's their spiral sequence. Developed a package this year, and by far superior than we've ever seen from them.
Yes, 6 last year at the Worlds, but medal hope this time. There's John Nix. We'll have the marks for Mino and Sand of the United States when we return to Birmingham.
Marks for Mino and Todd Sand for
John Nix was the world champion in 1953. Todd Sand won a bronze in 91 with Natasha Kuchicki. First set of marks, 5.2s from the Czech Republic and Poland, up to a 5.6 from the Austrian judge.
Well, I'm quite surprised here. I like this program over both of the Russians.
Second set of marks, up to a 5.8 from that Austrian judge who has conceded first, but they have 3 seconds, and the rest are thirds for Mino and Sand, who are third behind the 2 Russian teams. The team that many felt should have won the European Championship from the Czech Republic, Radka Kovarakova, Rene, Novotny. They lost the 5-4 judges split to Botsels Stoyer, won the short program, but boy, is the tension mounting because, Bart, there's really no room for error at this point.
Absolutely none at all. Their entire year comes down to one jump, and that will be the opening side-by-side triple toe loop. Because if they miss, they could find themselves as low as 5th or 6th because it has been such a well-skated event. Here we go. And they land them.
A great deal of distance between the 2 skaters, which is something that is shunned upon. We're looking for those 2 skaters to be as close as possible to each other, but as you said, Barb, cleanly executed. A huge weight off their shoulders. Nice double twist. Barb, I know this is a favorite lift of yours. And quite a bit of distance between them on these spins. I love the confidence that Rika is showing here. When she lands that jump, she
just lights up for the rest of the program. In fact, Radinova, her coach, said the secret of success lies in Radka alone, and that she's found an inner strength and a confidence that we didn't see before.
But when you combine that with the fact, I believe, they have the two best programs of any pair in this competition, coming out of this short program, having done what they've done to this point, puts them in an excellent position.
And watch this spiral sequence. It's certainly the best we'll see in the competition here. It's absolutely beautiful. Extension. And now the final back inside death spiral. Again, probably the nicest one in the competition. Just a beautiful position.
Many pair skaters would maintain that the back inside is the most difficult to execute in terms of technical difficulty.
Well, a team that has fought nerves over the years shows the emotion of getting the job done. Radka Kavarakova and Rene Novotny of the Czech Republic. And we'll be back with their marks when we return to Birmingham. We're back at the NEC Indoor Arena awaiting the marks for Radka Kavarakova, Rene Novotny, the 92 world silver medalists, have not been on the podium since, but they are very much in the medal hunt here with those marks, 5'6", 5'7", and a 5'8" from the Czech Republic.
And I predict that the presentation marks will go way up.
Marks for presentation.
And Barb's right on as the marks do go up, and they have 8 first-place ordinals, a second-place mark from the United States, but right now Kavarakova and Novotny are the leaders.
Representing Canada, Michelle Menzis and Jean-Michel.
Here are the 1995 Canadian champions, Michelle Menzis, Jean-Michel Bombardier, who fought their way back this season. They missed the world team last year, split for a couple of months, considered retirement, then moved to the Mariposa Club in Barrie under Lee Barkell and put it all together again. But they're in a pressure cooker situation here with so many good programs skated ahead of them.
They absolutely need a clean skate here, because what we need is a pair in the top 10, and to get in the top 10 here, they will have to land those double axles. Jean-Michel has had some problems with the double axle. He seems to have a bit of a mental block about it. Did a single at the Canadians. They open with a double twist. Good height and a nice catch. And here come the double axle. Good. Here's their overhead lift. Not one of the more difficult we'll see here today.
Barb, I'm sitting here playing back their side-by-side double axles in my mind, and I've got reason to believe she did a single. And it's hard to watch two bodies at once. It's a challenge for us. It's a challenge for the judges, but I'm hoping we can have a replay on this to verify that she did do a single.
Definite improvement in their skating this year. They skate with a much more positive attitude. She's really kind of come out of her shell.
footwork sequence.
And into their final element, the back inside death spiral, which is a very strong element for them.
Well, there are times where you wish you were an owl. You could make one eye focus on one item and another look and focus on another item. And as I mentioned, it's a challenge for the judges. It's a challenge for us.
By the look on her face, Paul, I think you're right. I think she did a single.
We'll look for that when we return with the marks for Menzis and Bombardier. Back in Birmingham, there's Lee Barkell, their new coach, with Michel Menzis and Jean-Michel Bombardier. We're going to take a look at those side-by-side jumps.
A perfect angle. Here they are setting up. Step forward. Up, and she certainly does do a single. We're at the opposite end of the rink, and he almost completely blocked her from our view.
Marks for Michel Menzis and Jean-Michel Bombardier for required elements.
Well, you can tell the French judge missed the problem on the side-by-side jump at 5.3, but there are lower marks, 4.4 from the Czech Republic, 4 5s.
Marks for presentation.
And now the presentation marks, they go up.
5-1.
There's a 5th place mark from France, 2 7ths, an 8th, a couple of 9ths, and a 10th from Germany, and right now they are in 9th place.
The next competitors representing Germany and the white belt.
Last of the big 5 pairs, at least the gold medal contenders that we had identified, Mandy Botsels, Ingo Steuer of Germany, the European champions. And with the other 4 couples having skated so well, the heat now is on them.
And the heat will be on right at the very beginning of this program as it opens with their side-by-side jump, which will be an attempted side-by-side triple toe.
They've been very solid in practice on these. Whoa, he really saved that one.
That is perhaps one of their weakest elements. That twist has very little height to it, and in comparison to some of the others we have seen, probably ranks as one of the poorest.
Beautiful spiral sequence. Much different program than we've seen from the other skaters. They've chosen one piece of music by Enya. They always go with the more contemporary styles of programs. And again, a small unison problem there on the spin.
They haven't fixed it yet. There they are, just getting it back on. Tonight, I don't know if pretty is going to do it here tonight. I think we're looking for a program that perhaps needs a little bit more power and a little bit more drive.
Well, no major errors, just a little wild on that triple toe loop and the unison problem on the spin.
German champions, European champions, Mandy Botsels and Ingo Steuer.
Bob, here's that triple toe you talked about. If you concentrate on him, you'll see he gets a little out of shape right there, but manages to show some patience, hang on.
And here's their twist. You can see she barely gets over his head. It's really tight. And with the size of her, she's very tiny. You would think that he'd be able to really launch her into the air.
Number of comeback stories here this week. Todd Eldridge, we're following Elvis Stoico coming back off the injury at Nationals. Terrible year for them last year, and it climaxed at the Olympics with her terrible fall. And she was telling us that she got so many letters of encouragement, and many of them came from Canadian fans.
Well, as Canada has such a great legacy of pair skaters, I think we've cultivated some great fans of pair teams, no matter which country they come from around the world.
And they were the silver medalists in Prague, behind Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Awaiting the marks with coach Monica Schott. And the required element marks are very impressive. 5.5, the low mark from Ukraine, up to 5.8. So you're a little surprised.
Certainly am, especially the 5.8 in light of the items that we thought were perhaps not as well executed as some others we've seen here tonight.
Great set of presentation marks, too. 2 first-place ordinals, 5 seconds, 2/3, and they are second behind Kovarakova and Novotny. Back with more from Birmingham after this.
She won an incredible 10 World and 3 Olympic Championships, and in 1973 in winning the first of 6 with Alexander Zaitsev. The music actually stopped for Irina Rodnina.
That's what I remember. For 2-3 seconds, so quiet. It looks like in this big stadium, nobody. After 3 seconds, people begin clutching something, showing yes, and it was like music for us, because I think everybody feels like they skate together with us, because we skate, they was like accompaniment.
And right now, Irina Rodnina's pupils are the leaders. Kovarakova, Novotny, Botsels, Stoyer of Germany second, ahead of 2 Russians, and then Mino Sand in 5th place. And here are the bronze medalists at our national championships last year, making their 2nd World Championship appearance. Jody and Higgins and Sean Rice from the Preston Figure Skating Club.
Well, I'm wondering how focused he is here. He's been skating around and looking up into the audience and waving to the crowd, and I just have to wonder if all the concentration is here.
Well, they're certainly going to need every bit of it, because this program technically is not amongst the most difficult that we're going to see out here this evening, especially with regards to the jump. However, one of the elements that they do have, which is simply outstanding, is their lift, and they're opening with their spiral sequence.
Yes, they do the pair element very well. The lift and the twist are great. But if you don't show up at these Worlds with double axles, you can't hope to be in the top 10 or 15. Here's that lift. Transfers the weight around into a star lift and a twist out. That is the hardest lift in the competition. I hope they get marked for it. And they're trying double axles. And it's Sean does a single and she falls.
But what they may have gained or picked up on the difficulty of the lift, they certainly just lost with the mistake in the side-by-side jump.
Great height on the twist. side-by-side death spiral.
Unfortunately, because they both made an error on the side-by-side double axle attempt, they're going to get hit with a .3 for the fall and a .1 to .2 for him doing a single.
And we'll have the marks for Higgins and Rice when we return to the 95 World Championships.
Hi, Mom.
Marks for Jody Higgins and Sean Rice for
Back in Birmingham as they post the first set of marks for Jody Higgins and Sean Rice of Canada with Coach Kerry Leach.
4-5.
And the range of marks from 4.0 up to 4.7 from the German judge. They were 10th in Prague, but this a much deeper field. And the second set of marks up to a 5.0. Best ordinal is at 10th, and overall they are in 13th place.
4-8. 4-8. The next competitors representing Canada, Allison Gaylor and David.
Here's Canada's youngest pairs team getting cheered on at their first international event together. And it's a world championship. 19-year-old Allison Gaylor from Stratford, Ontario, and David Pelletier, who's 20 years of age, from Sébec, Quebec. That's in the Gaspé region.
Well, this for them is certainly a major moment in that it is not only their world debut, but this is also their international debut. Very rare for that to happen in this era of numerous fall international competitions.
Here come the side-by-side double axle. She's had difficulties with hers this week. And she touches down with her hand.
For both skaters, but has good unison. The transition and moving her from one position to the next.
And that will be a major deduction. And they're also looking at a 0.1 deduction on the side-by-side double axle.
Well, you almost chalk that up to perhaps a lack of concentration when an element gets missed like that.
Chalk it up to a learning experience in their first World Championship. Allison Gaylor, David Pelletier from Canada.
Here's a look at the double axle. She gets behind David here, but you can see she does lean way too far forward and has to touch down with her hand.
And the range from 4.0 up to 4.6. David, one of the big stories at the national championships, not only with the silver medal in pairs with Allison, but he was fourth in the men's competition. And now the artistic marks up to a 4.9 from Poland as well as the United States. And Gaylor and Pelletier are 15th. So after the short program, Radka Kovarakova, Rene Novotny of the Czech Republic are the leaders ahead of Botsels and the defending world champion Shushkova Naumov. Top Canadians are in 11th place. Back with more from the 95 Worlds after this. Welcome back to the NEC Indoor Arena in Birmingham, England. The first night of competition at the 95 World Championships is complete, and we have the makings of one of the best pairs events ever. And Barb, as you indicated off the top, the team to beat, Kovarakova and Novotny.
Yes, and Chris, I'm still stunned that there were so many clean performances out here tonight. And I predicted this year when they changed the rule to allow the triple jumps into the competition that there would be a number of mistakes. But there weren't. The top 5 that we thought would be there are all there. I'm just amazed at the quality of the competition here tonight.
Well, Barb, you talked about the triple jumps being a problem. They definitely weren't. All of these teams skated cleanly, and you said earlier to me that you thought that Botsels got a bit of a gift, and Mino and Sam perhaps didn't get what they deserve, but when they all skate well, that's what you want. The judges can then call it as they see it, pick who they like, and unfortunately for our Canadians, they had some difficulties out there, and I think a top 10 finish for Menzis and Bombardier is going to be a real tough go for them.
Well, right now they're 11th. Canada needs a top 10 finish to send 2 pairs to next year's Worlds in Edmonton. We'll watch for that tomorrow, and that great battle for the gold medal. Right now, let's join Brian Williams.
All right, Chris, good story for Canada in the dance, where Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz tied for 4th after the compulsories, which count for 20% of the total. The dance originals, 30% of the total Thursday. The free, 50% goes on Friday. Regarding Elvis Stoico, we showed you that fall at the top of the show. He joined me here in the arena. He said he was in great pain earlier today, but skated through the pain in practice tonight and actually feels pretty good as he prepares for tomorrow. He said he would describe himself at about 85 to 90% ready. Just a reminder, primetime news with Peter Mansbridge and Pamela Wallen is up next. And now for Chris Cuthbert, Barbara Underhill, and Paul Martini, I'm Brian Williams saying good night from the World Figure Skating Championships here in Birmingham.